Right, so I decided to do a quick two-lap race at Bathurst in the McLaren 720S GT3. Now I've done a league race on this track last night in ACC, and I drove the Audi. Now we don't have the Audi R8 in Automobilista, but I am very familiar with the McLaren from that game because, well, it used to be my main car. So let's go ahead and see what this is actually like. So GT3 is an AMS2. Not something I normally do, to be honest, because ACC is usually my go-to for that. But yeah, let's give it a go. I have to say, I like the interior sound a lot more in this. You can hear the gearbox whine and the elasticity in the drivetrain a lot more compared to ACC. That was close. Yeah, the sound is a lot more in line with what you'd hear in like real onboards from real life. ACC tends to have a more canned sound effect by comparison, but whatever. Yeah, the interior's on on the limiter already. Yeah, my braking areas and stuff are very similar from one sim to the other. And yeah, the actual approach to driving is quite the same. Little bit snappy on the brakes. Just move the brake bias forward a tiny bit. Yeah, that gearbox whine, particularly on the downshifts, is what you'd expect on real life onboards. Trail braking is not as easy, but well, in the McLaren at least. And to be honest, this is more realistic in terms of its on-brake behaviour. That's on me, that. But yeah, basically when you're braking this, the front obviously is going to lunge down a bit, and you do risk the back of it coming around with a bit of snap oversteer under brakes. The McLaren, at least in ACC, that's missing completely. And for me personally, like, I mean, I love ACC, but the McLaren in particular, I don't think, well, it doesn't appear to be too realistic in terms of how the car would behave when you stand on the brakes into a corner. So we'll give AMS2 the nod on that one. Yeah, it's quite good actually. Feels nice to drive. It's challenging still. Love the little backfires out of the exhaust. Alright, so what did I think? pleasantly surprised. I think ACC is a lot more. It feels a bit more polished. Okay, we could probably have a barbecue off the exhaust on this. Let's skip the cool down up. But yeah, it does feel a lot more. Well, the McLaren, right? I haven't driven the other cars. I've only driven the McLaren, right? And from driving the McLaren in ACC, it is very forgiving in that game to drive, right? You can literally stand on the brakes on the way into a corner. The back of the car won't get upset. You can abuse it a little bit, and you can take a lot of liberties that, you know, I'm sure in real life you couldn't get away with that. If you could, I mean, I think every race team would be queued up to buy one. But anyway, compare that to how it drove here and how it behaved here. I couldn't literally stand on the brake and throw it in because the back of it was starting to snap, which is what you'd expect. You know, as the front of the car dives forward, the weight goes to the front, the back of it then starts to raise, and the car will want to over-rotate. Now, of course, it could be the setup as well. I didn't spend any time with the setup, so there's an element of that. But yeah, I think like ACC, what it has going for it is the GT3, GT4 kind of category. That's for sure. In terms of the actual driving experience and stuff like that, this is still very good. I like the sounds on this a bit. Cautious to say a bit more, like they're more realistic. The in-car sounds are more realistic. You know, you hear a lot more of that drivetrain whine, and the slack and the elasticity. That noise is much more realistic from an onboard point of view. I think ACC sounds are really good as well, but they go for more of a, I think, a immersion showpiece rather than an immersion realism factor, the way AMS2 does. And that's one thing I actually like about AMS2. The sounds are a bit simple. Well, they're a bit simpler. They appear to be more realistic. But yeah, I mean, I think both sims are really good. I just think, like ACC, I think will have the nod in the GT3, GT4 category, and maybe in some cup cars, whether that's fairly or unfairly, but you know, they have all the modern GT3s, they've got a decent track selection as well that mimics the real life championship, and the licensing and all that stuff. And then you've got the low fuel motorsport thing, you've got the mid-race driver swaps, the ability to save mid-race on an endurance race and stuff like that. So I think until Automobilista starts coming out with similar, I think they will always lag behind ACC in this particular category of racing. Rightly or wrongly, doesn't matter what I think really, does it? It's more, you know, it's more what's going to happen. Let's look at some of the other cars actually. The noise of that Beamer is mega. Yeah, I mean, I stand by what I said about the best noise or the best engine noise in sim racing. I still think it's the Beamer Challenge. I'll die on that hill. Sounds great. Yeah, grey sounds indeed. Yeah, we leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully this doesn't start a war in the comment section. Thanks again.